What's poppin', everybody? It's your girl Felicia Katsson, and I'm back for another video. Yes, it's been a while, and I need to be on camera, so how y'all doing? But look, y'all, I'm back with another video because y'all know we in Memorial Day weekend. We about to hit into the summer, and a lot of people gonna want to try to get their hot girl summer on, they rich nigga summer on, whatever y'all want to call it, and y'all ain't got no passport. Now look, if you need your passport in like 24 hours, I'm gonna say 72 to 24 hours, then you need to watch this video because I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know on how to get your passport.
Beat business in your ear, bitch.
Yes, I'm going to tell y'all how to get y'all passport in 24 to 48 hours, okay? Now look, most times people tell you you need about 6 to 8 weeks until you get your passport. And that's when you fill out the application and you go ahead and mail it in and you got to take a picture, send all that stuff, and you got to wait that long ass time. No, you do not need to do that, okay? This is the quick hot girl way. So look, first things first is you're going to go to this website right here. This website is going to give you all the information that you need to go ahead and get your passport expedited, right? Now, the key thing about being expedited, you need to make sure you have an agency in your state. I believe there's only 26 offices in the United States. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm going to put the correct numbers of how many agencies. Like, I know it's like 2 in California, there's 1 in Georgia, there's 1 in Florida, there's 1 in Puerto Rico, there's 1 in I believe Chicago, New York, like really staple cities like that, like DC and all of that, right? So make sure you need to have an agency. This is how it's going to really work. Unless you have a layover. If you have a layover somewhere in between your trip, you can go ahead and do this. Now, first things first, once you go here, you're going to price everything out, okay? And you need, when you go to an agency, you need to make sure you have cash, have the exact amount, because they will not give you change. So say for instance, for a book it's $2.35, you bring $2.40, you just gave them like a $5 tip. You don't want to do that, okay? Make sure you bring the exact change, because I believe for a passport book is $2.35 with the services, or you can get a passport card in a book, or you could just get a passport card. So the difference between that, let me explain that. A passport book, you can go country to country, I believe sea to sea or border to border. And then with a passport card, it only works for if you're going towards, if you're traveling through sea or something like that. So yeah, it's not really needed to get a passport card, but my suggestion is always to just get your passport port, even though I like the card because it looks like an ID. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So you go ahead and price out whatever one you want, if it's a passport book or a passport card or both. So you go ahead and price that out, and what you do is you give them a call. Now, when you call an agency, it's this number right here. I'm going to link it down below. You're going to call this number, and the first thing they're going to ask you is, when is your flight? When is your flight? Where is the closest agency and the nearest appointment? Also the nearest appointment, because the appointments is also key too. Because since everybody's trying to travel, it's gonna be limited services, not limited service, limited appointments or whatever. So one piece of advice, something I don't suggest you guys do, is to book your appointment the day of your flight. It's gonna cause a lot of confusion, unless your flight is after 2 o'clock. That's what I want to say. So when you first call and try to get an appointment, because sometimes you will not get an appointment the same day, so that's why I say allow yourself the whole 2 weeks of trying to get an appointment or whatever. So you go ahead and get you keep calling, you just be like, I'm gonna use Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta. It's like, hey, I'm trying to get an appointment in Atlanta. I'm trying to see what's the nearest date. The first thing they're going to ask you is, when is your flight? So we're going to use June 15th, because in the time frame, for you guys to better understand, we're going to use our flight date is June 15th, and today is May 24th. So what we're going to do is call today. Just like, hey, I want to go ahead and try to get an appointment. My flight leaves on June 15th. So they're gonna be like, you can't make an appointment. You have to wait until 2 weeks prior to your trip leaving before you can actually make an appointment. Now they're gonna tell you to call back June 2nd. June 2nd. So the first thing in your head, you're like, oh my God, I can call June 2nd. What you need to do is make sure you call as soon as they open at 8 o'clock, because you can be on hold for a very long time. I hear horror stories from YouTube. When I first learned this, was you could be on a line for like an hour and a half. Mine, I think I was only on hold for like 10 minutes. I was taking like a break from work. So I was on hold for like 10 minutes. So when you call, you just be like, hey, I was trying to get the nearest appointment for June. My flight leaves June 15th. So they're going to give you an appointment June 15th, 14th, or 13th, right? So, you know, they talking to you about your trip. If you get a really good customer service rep, you know, they asking about your trip. Oh, is this your first time traveling and stuff like that? You know, getting acquainted and trying to find you an appointment or whatever. So when I first called, I actually, there was no appointments available in Atlanta. And I was so upset. I was like, what? So I booked I had an appointment because I needed to go to Jamaica for my friend's 30th birthday. You feel me? You know, I was trying to turn up. And I was one of the friends that was a procrastinator, and I waited for the last minute to get my passport. I know. So, when I did that, I originally got an appointment. They didn't have none available in Atlanta. They was like, we could send you to Puerto Rico or Miami. Now I'm like, well, Miami not far. I can go ahead and do that. I just buy a flight. And I'm like, but that's like, flights was kind of cheap. It was like $35 on Southwest to go to Miami, and I was like, okay, I can go ahead and do that, and then fly back to Atlanta to make my flight. Like, I was really trying to calculate, because I was like, I cannot miss this trip or whatever, and it was my fault because I waited too long. So once I called, I actually originally booked my appointment in Miami, because I was like, I don't want to go to Puerto Rico, like, I'll just go to Miami. So I booked Miami, and I booked the flight, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call again. So I called, and I was just like, hey, I'm trying to get an appointment. I'm like, the young lady, she gave me Miami. I was like, I just think that's too much. I'm trying to, like, I'm going to have to get another flight, get a hotel, like, try to make it, like, put on a little sob story or whatever. So I did that, and then it was a guy. He was like, okay, let's see what I can do. He was like, why would she send you to Miami? There's appointments available in Atlanta. Now that's the thing. Once somebody like cancel an appointment, it comes immediately available. So I was able to get one. I was like, oh my God, yes. So he gave me an appointment. It was 9 a.m. Was my appointment. And when you get your appointment, do not miss it. Make sure you have all of your documents ready, because you don't want any delays when you're trying to go. So I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got an appointment. I'm like, okay, it's cool. Now, this is another thing where I would suggest to you guys, don't do like me and wait for the last minute. What you want to do is tell them that your flight is a couple of days before your actual leave date, because what they're doing, they're not checking the system to see if you have a flight that day or whatever. So just say a couple of days, give yourself some time or whatever, because the process when you go to the passport agency is totally different. So I go ahead, once you book their appointment, they're going to send you like a confirmation email, and you got to remember your confirmation email, because that's like your ID code or whatever. I believe mine was like my first, my first 3 letters of my last name or some shit like that, and some numbers. So they're going to send you a confirmation email. In the confirmation email, the first thing they're going to do is make sure you take your passport book photo. So you can go to Walgreens. I believe at Walgreens it's $14.95. And I'm going to tell y'all straight up, you can't smile. It really looked like a mug shot, because I don't like mine. I was just sitting there like, and I smile. Ooh, I just dropped that. But I like to smile. Like I want to smile like it's my passport. Like I'm about to get ready to travel. You feel me? Ain't nobody want to have no passport book and they mugging. You feel me? But anyway, that's either near or there. If you can go to Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, anything like that. So you want to make sure you do that. I had to take a COVID test. I couldn't remember if I did the COVID test for the airline or the for the passport office, but I made sure I took a COVID test too to bring. They're gonna ask you to bring a printout of your flight, but again, I don't believe they checked it. Did they check it? No, they didn't check it. They didn't even check it, but I still had it on hand. Then they're going to ask you to fill out the application. So you want to go to your FedEx if you don't have a printer at home or whatever. So you go ahead and print that out. Make sure all the information is filled out. And you bring your birth certificate and your ID. Yeah, and your ID. So once you go, you have to make sure you're on time to your appointment. How it was in Atlanta, it was... in this building, before you actually can even go in the building, it's a security guard to check to kind of see if you have an appointment, and then they bring you in. I was like, oh, I feel like it's VIP at the club or whatnot. Like, you gotta check my ID. So once you go in, this is when you get more excited because it's like, I'm getting my passport. So you go in, you're gonna see a clerk, and they're gonna give you look at all your documents and be like, all right, boom, you can go upstairs. Here's your number. You go upstairs. Once you go upstairs in the passport office, you got to go through like y'all going through jail or whatever. They want to check you. You get all the little security guard, and they think they tough as. What y'all might add, the security guards in Atlanta, they were very attractive, okay? There was some fine men up in there. All right, hit me when y'all get off of work. But anyway, so once you go in there, you get in line or whatever. It's like a drop-off line. So some lady, she, man or woman, they will be at the little kiosk thing. It's like the DMV. Y'all know when y'all go to the DMV and you pull the number and they be like, oh, you gotta wait and stuff like that. That's basically how it is. So once you pull your number, they call you up and they just look at your all your documents and be like, all right, cool. They're gonna be like, pay. And once you go there, you need to make sure you have the exact change because they ain't gonna have no change. So you pay, boom, and they be like, all right, come back at 2 o'clock. So once they take all your documents and you come back at 2 o'clock. Now, when you're doing this is another thing. You don't want to do it on the day you're traveling because I'm pretty sure when you go out the country, you don't want your birth certificate with you, your social, because I believe you do have to. If you have to bring your social, I think I brought mine just in case. I didn't want all that information with me. You feel me? So that's why I said you want to do it a couple of days prior or even 2 weeks prior if you can pull that off. Get a cheap ticket, say, y'all know how to finesse the system. Y'all some scammers. Y'all little scammers. But yeah, you go ahead and do that. And this is why, again, I say give yourself ample time too, because say if you gotta go home, drop it off, whatever. So you come back at 2 o'clock. Now, when you come back at 2 o'clock, everybody that had an appointment prior to that is gonna be there. I'm talking about everybody. Like, the line was long as fuck. I think here's a video I'm about to insert where my line was long or whatever, and you see everybody you saw back in the morning. So once you go up there, they do it by your last name, and then once they call your name up or whatever, they hand you your passport and you get your passport like boom, and then you ready to have a hot girl summer or a rich nigga summer. You feel me? So the whole situation is super easy, but you just got to make sure you have all your documents. It can be done. You don't need to wait 6 to 8 weeks. I guess, people like to plan early, apply for it, you can do it, but you can get it the same day or whatever. As long as you have all of your documents. They are on the application. They ask you some shit about your parents and stuff like that. A lot of the questions I couldn't answer, but I still was able to get my passport, and I was in Jamaica having fun, okay? Even though I had to switch my flight for the next morning, I was kind of upset, but anyway. It can be done. So go ahead and get your passport. Travel. You feel me? You get one life. Go ahead and travel. You feel me? Now, if I left out anything in detail in this video, because I am a fast talker, I'm going to go ahead and link everything in the link in my bio, all of the steps, everything that was sent to me in an email so you guys have it. And y'all can go on y'all trip so y'all can be fly. Hey. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and I guess I'll see y'all back for another video, and then enjoy your trip. Peace.